Hello there, good afternoon, and you are welcome to the maiden edition of Focus. You are welcome to the maiden edition of Constituency In Focus here on ABC News Ghana. I am your host, Samuel Nyimabo, and in the next 1 hour, we'll be dissecting various constituencies within the Upper East region of the country. As we head into the 2024 elections, there are a lot of things happening down there in the Upper East region. You remember the Boku situation, the Boku conflict that threatened the elections happening in the enclave around Boku. We'll be going there to pick up what is happening in and around the constituencies in Boku, and we'll also be giving you an analysis of all the elections, how the elections have panned out, how the parliamentary and presidential elections have been like in these constituencies in the Upper East region. But today on our maiden edition of Focus, of Constituency Focus, would be bringing you two constituency analysis in the Upper East region. We'll be bringing you the analysis of the Zebila constituency as well as the Bogatanga Central constituency, where there is a fierce contest between the current NP, Adongo, as against an MPP candidate in the constituency. We'll also be going to Zebila, where tensions escalated some few weeks ago when the NPP candidate had to suspend his campaign due to the Boku conflict and the whole issue surrounding the chieftaincy issues in Boku that is threatening to hamper the elections in the Zebila constituency. So we'll be bringing you all this analysis right here on Constituency Focus here on ABC News Ghana. So stay here. In the next 1 hour, I'll be your host as we look into these two constituencies. We'll be right back after this break.
Past 8 years, the NPP has over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing health care for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot. Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
All be lie.
Thank you, boss. See you next week. Go. Where is my passport? Where is my passport? Yo, man, I want to Waba.
What is that?
And then
Give me my passport. You made me pay for express for 24 hours and yet it's not in.
You told me that you are telling me this. What's going on? Hello.
This man here has taken my money. That within 24 hours he will do my passport for me.
Oh, see that's the same thing applies to me. He told me last night. He's telling me this week.
Process.
That's what they do. Yeah.
Oh, madam. Please relax. I'll get for you in 24 hours.
Hey, Goroma. So you never change? Eh? You get passport for someone within 24 hours, Madam Obwa. See, the normal working hours is 9 to 5. Eh? Now 24 hours, I'm fat.
You guys have made a very big mistake by trusting these people. Now, through digitalization, passport application has been made so easy. Now, you don't need to stress yourself and join any long queue for your passport. All you have to do is to log on to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website and begin your application. By buying a passport application voucher online. Simple and easy. And very soon, all you need to get your passport will be your Ghana card.
What is it true?
Obisa.
It is possible.
I didn't know this. I feel this.
Come on. Come on.
This is where the headlines are probed. Policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it's a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now.
Good.
Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to? Have you thought about managing that hurdle?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana television.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishing.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot. Over 5 million children have benefited.
Welcome back to the show here on ABC News Ghana. I am Samuel Nyemabo. Now, first off, let's start off with one very interesting constituency in the Upper East region. I'm talking about the Zebula constituency. Now, Zebula is one of the 14 constituencies in the Upper East region that will be keenly contested in this year's elections. With just about 10 days to the elections, there are a lot of tension happening in Zebula for a number of reasons. Keenly, because of the Boku conflict and the issues that have risen from the conflict. Now, Zebula is presenting two new candidates for this year's constituency, especially for the National Democratic Congress. They are presenting a different candidate in this year's election. The NDC have had the luxury to maintain one MP for over 3 terms. I'm talking about the MP for the area, the current MP for the Zebula constituency, Cletus Avoka. He has been in power for the NDC in the constituency since 2008. Now, he has decided to step down from the Zebula constituency, and he will be contesting this year's election, meaning that the NDC is presenting a new candidate. And as a result, the NPP may stand a chance to take the votes away from the NDC in the Zebula constituency, as we talk about here. So we'll be bringing you what it will look like in this constituency, with the Boku conflict threatening the peace of the area and people not likely to go out and vote in their numbers in the constituency and even within the Boku enclave. How will the NPs survive, the NPP NP for the area? John Krugu, a few weeks ago when we spoke to him, he was he was not happy with the whole situation. As a result, he had to suspend his campaign. Now we've gotten notice that he's resumed some campaign activities within the constituency because the elections are near and he needs to campaign. However, will the few days of campaign that he has done be able to be enough for him to garner all the support he needs to be able to unseat the NDC in this constituency? Remember that the NPP won, the last time they won in this constituency on the parliamentary ticket was in 2012 when Cletus Avoka was unseated, but he came back in 2016 winning it and winning it in 2020 as well. So John Kruger will have a very big task to play in this year's election, and he'll be looking to unseat the NDC's candidate in this year's election. But before we get into how the 2024 elections will likely take shape in the Zebula constituency, let's look at what the vote pattern has been like within the Zebula constituency. And I'm talking about both the presidential and the parliamentary elections, because as we have been doing in time past on ABC News Ghana, we've given you the analysis of the pattern of votes in the presidential and the parliamentary elections. Right now, this is likely, and this will help us appreciate how the 2024 elections will look like in few days to come, just about 10 days to come. So let's look at how the Zebula East constituency elections have shaped up since 2004. Now the constituency was created in 2000, so as a result the first election happened in 2000, but we are looking since 2004. In 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2020, and we'll also look at how the 2024 elections will look like in the Zebula constituency. Now, let's quickly look at the parliamentary results in this constituency. Like I mentioned, the only time the NDC lost was a few years ago in 2012. They lost in the 2012 elections. Now, the NPP won in this constituency in 2012 and sitting Cletus Avoka. However, they lost the election in 2000, in 2004, in 2008 as well, they lost it. Then 2016, they lost it as well. Then in 2020, Cletus Avoka cemented his feet. After serving about 3 terms in power for the constituency, he has finally decided not to go again in the 2024 election. So this is how the constituency result have looked like in Zebula. I'm talking about Zebula, the constituency result, the parliamentary result. This is how it has looked like 2000. Now let's give you a quick rundown of the presidential result as well. Now with the presidential result, you will see that the NDC has won all times in this constituency. Since the constituency was created in 2000, the NDC has won in the presidential ballot. So it means that the NPP stand no chance or have stood no chance in the presidential elections in this constituency. They only had opportunity to win in this constituency in 2012 in the parliamentary elections. But apart from that, they've not had any taste of victory in this constituency. Now in 2000, the NPP lost the elections when the NDC won by some 62.50%. Now in that 2000 election, there was a key trend, or there was a third candidate that proved to be a force in this constituency and even in the Upper East region, because he was coming from the PNC candidate. Then in 2000, in the 2000 general elections, the PNC candidate was very strong in this constituency as well. So he beat the NPP in this constituency in terms of the presidential result. In fact, both parties struggled because of the work of the PNC in the 2004 elections in this constituency. Now you look at the result as you see here. In 2000, the NPP lost the election, losing to 62.50% of the NDC. In 2004, the NDC won it again with some 49.40%. 2008, they won it again, increasing their percentage margin from 49.40 to 61.10%. Now in 2012, the NDC won it again, increasing it very marginally from 61.10% to some 63.10%. Then in 2016, they won again, just a normal win for the NDC as they have done in time past. 2016 they won, and 2020 again, the NDC won in this constituency. So this is how the result has shaped up for the NDC in the constituency. You realize that the NPP, on the other hand, after losing in 2000, increased their margin in 2004, went to increase it further in 2008, 2012, they increased it further to 33.10%, but it was still not enough for the NPP, because you realize that the Upper East region has been a stronghold for the National Democratic Congress in terms of the parliamentary and the presidential elections. It is just recently that the NPP is trying to make some gains in this region. It's just recently with the help of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia coming in as the vice presidential candidate for the NPP in 2008, in 2012, in 2016, then becoming the vice president in 2020. When he was vice president in the 2020 elections, we saw his effect across the 5 northern regions as we have it now. Across the 5 northern regions as we have it now. It used to be just 3 northern regions, but as we have it now, it's 5. And we saw that effect of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia playing out, and that it has been then that we saw the NPP increase their vote margin in the Upper East region and even in Zebula, as we see here. So you see that from 2008, they increased it to 33.10 in 2012, increased it further to 42.20 in 2016, and had a drop in 2020 to some 30.56%. But you realize that this constituency, in the terms of the presidential election, has been a stronghold for the NDC. As we saw in the parliamentary elections as well, a big win for the NDC in the constituency. NPP has only won once in 2012. And this is how the result have looked like. Now, let's quickly give you the key contests that we've had over the years, because the elections as we have it, especially the parliamentary elections, it is about the 2 figures that are facing off each other in each year, in each election. And these 2 figures come off because the contest is normally between the NPP and the NDC, and it is the personalities that matter sometimes. If you go to the local communities and these constituencies, it's the personalities that these 2 contests or the figures are presenting that matter. So we try as much as possible to bring you the key contests that the constituency have had since 1992, but in this case since 2000. In the Zebula constituency, I beg your pardon, since the constituency was created in 2000. Now, in these 2008 elections, we had Cletus Avoka of the NDC coming in as a fresh face for the constituency. Then, in 2008, winning by some 2,604 vote difference. That was a big win for Cletus Avoka on his first attempt as the parliamentary candidate for the NDC in the constituency. He beat Apia Moses of the NPP by some 13, where Apia had some 13,074 votes. So Cletus clearly winning in this constituency. Now let's quickly go in the 2012 elections. Let's quickly go to the 2012 elections. 2012, same Cletus Avoka for the NDC, coming in against a new face within the constituency, Frank Fuseni Adongo. Now, in the 2012 elections, as I mentioned earlier, the NPP won in these elections, in this constituency, giving Cletus his first loss as NP for the area. He had a 4-term president parliamentary or candidacy or candidature in the constituency. After that, he lost it in 2012. Then he came back in 2016 strongly to win the 2016 election. So let's quickly look at the 2016 elections as well. The 2016 elections in the Zebila constituency of the Upper East region. In 2016, as we see here, the NPP candidate won with just a slight margin of 240 vote difference. That was a big loss for, Cletus Avoka. You realize that in the parliamentary elections, when you lose and you lose by a bigger margin, it is not that painful as to you to lose and lose by a very slim margin, as we saw in the 2016 elections, where the NDC lost, Cletus Avoka lost in this election, losing to Frank Fuseni Adongo on the second time attempt by Frank Fuseni Azongo. Now, this is how the 2016 election shaped up for the Zebila constituency. Let's look at what Avoka did in 2020 when he came back again trying to win the seat for the NDC. In the 2020 elections, let's look at what Avoka did there. In 2020, he came back to win the seat for the NDC, cementing his place, getting some 66.40% of the vote. The biggest percentage win in the constituency since it was created in 2000 went to Cletus Avoka of the NDC in the 2020 elections. Again, facing off Frank Fuseni Adongo of the NDC in this constituency, he gave him a very big margin of 17,619 votes in the constituency. And this is how the parliamentary elections have shaped up in the Zebila constituency. Like I mentioned, Cletus Avoka is not going to be on the seat for the NDC. So there's going to be a new phase. So let's look at how the 2024 elections is going to shape up. Who is winning in the 2024 parliamentary election in this constituency. And these are the new faces in the constituency. These are the new faces. You have the NDC's Ebenezer Alumire Ndebila contesting for the NDC in the Zebila East, coming in to replace Cletus Avoka. Then we have the NPP John Krugu coming in to fight for the NPP to get the seat away from the NDC. Then we have Patience coming in as an independent candidate. Now, this lady is interesting because the first MP elect for the Zebila Zebila constituency, that is the daughter of the first NP for Zebila. So she's coming in strongly because she believes she can unseat both the NPP and the NDC. And these are the key candidacy or the candidates that are going to face off in the Zebila constituency of the Upper East region. So before we get into the analysis of how the 2024 election will look like for the Zebila constituency, what are the key factors that the voters will be voting on, and the issues that will be informing their vote, let's quickly look at or pick some sound bites from the campaign grounds that the both candidates or the candidate have conducted so far. Let's give you the sound bites of some of the campaign grounds videos, and you get to appreciate what each candidate is doing in the constituency to win the seat. So let's quickly take that for you, and we look at what the NDC candidate has done in the constituency. The NPP candidate John Krugu is also doing, as well as the independent candidate, some of the campaign grounds they've been to. Then after this, we'll go live to the